Lake, Minnesota. On the outside, out of New Richland, Minnesota, is Tiana Methune in car number 53. Methune in the 53 car. Sponsored by Worst Oil Incorporated. On the inside of the third row, it's a 04. That is Nick Ayotte. He's out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Midwest Painting and Drywall, number 04 in. The green high in the sky meaning one thing to the racers. We're going racing, and it'll be next time by. On the outside of the third row, he's out of Alexandria, Minnesota. In the Lake Country Meets, number 24. That will be Brandon Dolman. On the inside of the fourth row tonight, 17B. That's Zach Benson out of Princeton, Minnesota. In the Anderson Garage Service, number 17B. His outside, Mike Boston tonight in the MB Services, number 11B out of Wyoming. And your final row is J.D. Ford out of Somerset, Wisconsin in that 343. And your final starter, Landon Atkinson. Atkinson out of Little Falls, Minnesota, and the Little Falls Auto and Transmission 18-8. Your final starter in the grid, and the green flies. So Ford in that 343 car starts on the inside of the final row as we got your race leader right now in the 33X is Fremming. So the first bus ride will be right after this heat race. So if you want to hop on the bus, head out to the main entry right now. If you can hear me, they're loading the school bus for the first ride around the track right now in the front entry area. So Fremming shows the way in that 33X car. Jamie Davis in the 85. He started inside row one, passing points. He's got to get that spot back. So Davis goes after Fremming in the 33X car, 85, about one car length behind the way it sits right now. Schulte in the third spot in 11. He started third, so passing points not going to be a factor for him. The 53 car moving through the grid here tonight. Tiana Methune in that fourth position. It's Dolman in 24 and Ayotte in 04. The flags are crossed. They're yellow and green. It is Justin Fremming at the halfway part. Fremming in 33X, your race leader from the very beginning. Going to count somewhat pretty well for the 33 car as far as passing points go. Behind him is still Davis in the 85, about 5 car lengths. And then back to the 11 of Schulte, Methune in 53, and a good battle with Dolman there in the 24. Atkinson in 18A has moved forward. He started absolutely last. He's passed 4 cars on the way. That counts pretty good for passing points. So that's somebody that started at the tail. Not going to win their heat, but probably got a really good shot at making the main here tonight. The bus is loading up out front. Everybody head for the bus. 33X with 2 to go. The green flies right there for Justin Fremming. Fremming out front from the get-go in the 33X car, strong here in heat race number 2 tonight. Davis in 85 in the second spot. Schulte in 11 as they stretch out with 1 to go. 18A Atkinson climbing forward, 1 more spot now. Atkinson, the fastest car on the racetrack. The way it sits right now, he'll go by the stand there with 1 to go, and he's in 4th. On the final trip, checkers are up in the air. They're ready to fly for your leader. Now your winner in 33X, Justin Fremming. The rest of the field ready to take the checkered flag here tonight. Finishing 4th, it's Landon Atkinson in 18A. Travis Schulte finishes 3rd in 11. 85, Jamie Davis in 2nd. Here's your winner in 33X. Let's hear it for Justin Fremming. Fremming to the win here tonight in heat race number 2. The bus ride's coming up. If you didn't get out there, you probably missed the bus. You're late. You'll have to walk to school today. But Dave Moss will be bringing out the first of a few school bus rides here tonight. So if you missed this one, don't worry. They're not going to send the officers after you to find you why you're not coming to school, because we've got a few more of those coming up yet tonight. So we'll bring out the first of our school bus rides here tonight on School Bus Night at Ogilvie Raceway. Fremming, the winning driver in heat race number 2, sponsored by the Fire Station, Service Master Clean, Anderson Funeral Home, Martin Insurance, and JRI Shocks and Alexandria Smiles. So the school bus ride is coming up. I don't know if they've already loaded and left, but heat race number 3 has rolled out onto the raceway. While they're out there, let's bring you your starting lineup in heat 3. The pole sitter tonight, he's out of Brainerd, Minnesota, in that 1 junior car. That is Tim Johnson. Johnson in the 1 junior car. Starting on the inside pole here tonight in 1 junior. On the outside tonight, Patrick Kelly out of Columbus, Minnesota in the Nitro Mint, sponsor number 63. Kelly starts second. Inside row 2 tonight, he's out of Bemidji, Minnesota. That is Matt Sparby. Sparby in the 81X car. On the inside of row number 2 tonight, Sparby in the Black Duck Power Equipment 81. On the 1 junior car is Westminster Buick GMC, the sponsor of the 1 junior car. On the outside of row number 2, it's Cody Lee, the Cobra, on the track. Out of Starbuck, Minnesota, that is Cody Lee in 50C. Inside the 3rd row tonight in the 23 car, it's Mitch Weiss. He's out of Scandia, Minnesota. To his outside from Zimmerman, the 88 car, that will be Eric Lamb. Inside row number 4, the 17 car of Ashley Merworth out of St. Stephen, Minnesota. On the outside, the Merworth family in a battle in row number 4 here tonight. Brother Brandon on the outside in the 7 car. Brandon Merworth out of St. Stephen. Starting outside sister Ashley in row 4. Inside the final row tonight, it's Corey Stork out of Morris, Minnesota in car number 57. In the Prairie Trailer 57, that's Corey Stork. To the outside, your final starter. He sits in the D&N Trucking, sponsored 06 out of Zimmerman, Minnesota. That will be Jeremy Nelson, your final starter in 06. So 10 trips around 10 cars. Heat number 3 is ready for green. So the green is out, and wow, we got action in turn number 2. The red's going to come out. The cars will stop. Sparby in the 81 car, that is not the way he wanted to get one of the competitors, but right on top of the race car, flipped upside down in turn number 2. It looks like the number 23 car of Mitch Weiss on the lid on top of Matt Sparby's number 81. So wow, some action right in front of the fans there in trackside parking. Turn 2, you got an eyeful of what happened there in turn number 2. Sparby going the wrong direction and jumped right on top of the race car. Is another one is the 23 of Mitch Weiss. So our track officials and other employees and emergency people down there. Special thanks to the Ogilvie Fire Department for being on hand each and every race night, along with the EMT service, the ambulance service from First Light Health Systems in Mora, Minnesota. So they're here each and every race night to make sure things go okay. And if they're needed with their professional experience, they're right out there. And they're there right now checking on the status of the drivers involved in that incident. That was quite a deal there in turn number 2. So the red is out. That means all cars are stopped right where they are as we go to the red flag condition here tonight until things get cleared. We'll let you know the status of the drivers as soon as it becomes available. We should know fairly soon. Word from trackside and a thumbs up from the flagman's a good thing. Always drivers involved in that one are okay. So the drivers are okay. Yep, you can give them a round of applause. That's definitely worthy of that. To let you know that the drivers are doing fine after a situation similar or just like this one, a rollover. I don't know if all the years and all the races I've ever called that I've seen one piggyback on top of another one like that, but it happened here tonight, and you were eyewitness to it at Ogilvie Raceway. A beautiful night to be out at the track tonight on the midweek Tuesday special, the buses. We'll call it the Battle of the Buses here tonight at Ogilvie. Tonight's event for the buses is presented by United Truck Body Company out of Hermantown, Minnesota. And tonight, the Midwest Modifieds. This is heat race number 3 out of 4. They will be battling for $1,500 to win tonight. Presented on tonight's program by D&N Trucking, Allstate Peterbilt, and Second Generation Chimneys. So the top 16 in passing points out of tonight's heat races will make their way to the lineup for the A main grid. The rest of the field will go to the B features or last chance qualifiers for a chance to make the tail end of tonight's feature event. As we said, paying $1,500 to the winner. That is quite a payday in the Midwest Modifieds. So 41 of the best in the business here tonight throughout Wissota country are here. We've got drivers from all over, including one of them, I believe, came the farthest from Helena, Montana. So we got a Montana driver on hand here tonight at Ogilvie, along with a lot of our regular competitors, and some of them just coming in for the special show here tonight at the Big O. Tonight's Midwest Modified Special, brought to you by D&N Trucking, Allstate, Peterbilt, and Second Generation Chimneys. Quick reminder that the area to the left of the entry, the left grandstand, is no smoking or drinking of alcoholic beverages there. So if you choose to sit there, please respect others sitting there by not smoking or drinking alcoholic beverages. That's to the left of the grandstand. Also, keep in mind that there are some places on the grandstands that are painted yellow. If you've been here before, you know what those mean. But the yellow spaces are the walkways. So please, if you're sitting on the yellow painted areas, that's the walkway. You want to move over just a little bit so you don't get trampled or accidentally trip somebody, and that would probably be the worst case scenario that could happen. So if you're sitting on one of those yellow areas, move over just a little bit. There's plenty of room here tonight. We've got the new seating that was put in last season to the end of the grandstand over there. That seating actually came from Daytona International Speedway in Daytona, Florida. So if you want to sit in seats that came from Daytona, you can say you were sitting in Daytona Speedway seats, but you're here tonight at Ogilvie Raceway. So those are available down there. Lots of room wherever you want to be here tonight. A reminder, 89.1 on your FM dial. You can tune in to the call of the races as we take care of things. A little bit tricky down there. We've got one off of Sparby's car now, the 81 car out of Bemidji, Minnesota. Getting a tough ride there as the 23 of Mitch Weiss. He's out of Scandia, Minnesota. Tipped over somewhat gently and landed on top of Sparby's number 81. So the 23 and 81 involved are both okay, as we told you a little bit earlier on. Good news to bring to you. Looks like the 7 of Brandon Merworth's going off the backside, headed towards the pits here tonight. Tough break for Brandon. Means one thing for him. He'll have a crack at coming into the B features a little bit later on in tonight's program. So your program tonight will run as follows. We'll have the 4 heats for the Midwest Modifieds. And speaking of the bus, here it is, fans. Dave Moss wheeling the bus. He's got his son. I don't know who's driving, whether it's Dave or his son. I'm not quite sure, but one or the other, the kids, everybody in the bus is having a good time. They're waving at the fans. It'll be a chance for you to make a little bit of noise here tonight for the people in the school bus. It could actually be a competition between those in the grandstands and trackside parking to see who can make more noise, them or the people in the school bus. But the school bus, the first ride out there tonight, driven by Dave Moss, one of our regular drivers here, usually pilots a super stock car, one of the best in the business as far as super stocks go. He's a multi-time national champion, multi-track champion, including 4 here at Ogilvie and other tracks. He has also been track champion. So he has gotten at least 16 of those track championships over his racing career, which started in 1993, and his first win was in the year of 1993. So I think I could stand to be corrected, but this is probably the first time that Dave Moss has passed Tim Johnson on the raceway in a school bus. I have seen those guys tooth and nail back and forth a number of times in all kinds of different race cars, but never have I ever seen Dave Moss pass Tim Johnson in a school bus. Tim was wondering what in the world just happened. He says, I've been passed by Dave more than once, but it hasn't been in a school bus. But that is here tonight at Ogilvie. So right now the 57 of Corey Stork backing away from the melee that happened in turn number 2. Corey is rolling away from it on his own. We don't know if he's able to continue or not. He hasn't left the racetrack yet, but we'll get your read on that as soon as it's available. Tough break for Matt Sparby out of Bemidji in that yellow number 81 X car, and also for the 23 of Mitch Weiss. He ended up on the top of Sparby's car, so he's being hauled away there. Tough break in that 23. We'll see. Depends on what's wrong with it. Mitch might be able to piece it back together and get back for tonight's B features a little bit later on in tonight's show. So we are starting, as we said, you've seen a couple of them already. This is heat race number 3 in the Midwest Modifieds. We'll follow that up with 2 heat races this evening. In the buses, there'll be 2 heat races. Then after that, we'll be scheduled for another bus ride. And the bus is getting ready to go by here right now. Then we'll have 2 B mains in the Midwest Modified. So we'll have another bus ride during a short intermission. Then we'll come back with the mains tonight. It'll be Midwest Modified main. And we'll end tonight's program with the bus feature. So here we go, fans. Yep, make a little noise. Wave at the people in the bus. We'll see if we can get them to yell back at you. So tough break for Sparby in the 81. The 23 of Mitch Weiss also out. Looks like tough break also for Ashley Merworth in the 17. Ashley's car on the hook. The 17 looks like she is also done in this one. So we've got 5 cars still on the racetrack. It looks like Corey Stork in 57 was involved in that incident. I believe Corey has retired to the pit area also. So the cars that retire have a chance to get back out there in our B mains and a last chance to qualify for tonight's feature event, paying $1,500 to the winner. Presented by D&N Trucking, Allstate, Peterbilt, and second generation chimneys. So the red condition keeps on right now until the track official says the track is clear, and then we'll go to yellow. Once we do that, the cars can fire up and roll around the raceway. Ashley Merworth, the last one on the hook. The AJ's Complete Automotive truck, retrieving Merworth in car number 17 and bringing Ashley into the infield there. So the lineup now currently being read down to the drivers. That is through the receiver system. It is a one-way communication from track officials down to the drivers. One way the drivers have to listen, and they're maybe at a disadvantage, you might call it, because they can't talk back. So 5 cars remaining on the field. We started with 10, so you can do the math pretty easily. 5 have dropped out of this one. But the other math that takes place is the passing points, because Jeremy Nelson, for example, started 10th on the grid. The worst Jeremy could finish this race right now is 5th. So that's already passing points calculated for going by 5 cars. Eric Lamb in car number 88 started 6th on the grid. He currently sits 4th, so not as many passing points for him. And the 50 car of Cody Lee started fourth. He currently sits third. The top two still remain the same. And we're going green, 0 completed, 10 to go. So we started all over with half the field. On the restart, Tim Johnson goes back to work in the 1 junior car. Out front, going to try to beat the rest at the end of a lap. Number 1 and 1, JR. You'll find Tim Johnson. Johnson now moving up into the second place. It's Cody Lee in 50C. He's going to have a battle. His hands full. The 06 car, the DNN trucking entry of Jeremy Nelson, going to go to work in turn 3. Going to try to slide job out of turn number 3 and in 4. For the 50C of Cody Lee, going to try to strike back, and the Cobra does that. So it's Johnson in the 1 junior car, started on the pole. No passing points for him, but no negative entry for him. In the 1 junior car, 06 Jeremy Nelson started 10th. He is in a battle for second. Side by side with Cody Lee in the 50C. Cody Lee, the Cobra, in front of Nelson, but now Nelson says, see you later, I'm going to go on by in the 06. Nelson off the hub of the raceway. Cody Lee, the Cobra in 50C, going to try to take that position back, but he'll sit third as they go by the stand there. Eric Lamb in 88 in position. Number 4 started 6th. Tim Johnson's trying to check out in this one in the 1 junior car. He's going to see the flags cross. They are yellow and green. That means halfway home. So with 5 written in the history books and 5 yet to go, Tim Johnson, the race-along leader on the downhill descent to the checkers here tonight. In heat race number 3, more activity than you wanted to see here this evening, and some you didn't want to see. The rollovers are costly, but I hope those cars are going to be able to come back for the B features. Johnson on a roll here in the 1 junior car, sets the pace over the 06 of Jeremy Nelson, about a full straightaway. The distance between 1 and 2 here tonight. 50C Cody Lee and Eric Lamb in 88 rolling through and past the stand with 3 to go. 3 to go on the Village Bank scoreboard, where we put you first. Heat number 3, you ready to see that flying green this next time by? The flying green will show Tim Johnson and the rest of the field. 2 laps to go. Johnson with 2 to go, ahead of the 06 of Jeremy Nelson, about 2 seconds between 1 and 2. About the same back to Cody Lee in 50 and Eric Lamb in 88. The white flag high in the sky. This time by, there's 1 to go. Tim Johnson, 3/8 of a mile, chop it in half to 3/16. He's out of turn number 3, looking to exit the 4th corner. He'll see the checkers. They're going to be high in the sky for him. The winner, Tim Johnson in 1 junior. Eric Lamb rolls by in the 4th spot in 88. 3rd will belong to Cody Lee, the Cobra, in 50C. Your runner-up will be Jeremy Nelson in the 06 car, and your race winner tonight. He's out of Brainerd, Minnesota, started on the pole, never looked back. Let's give it up for Tim Johnson in 1 junior. Johnson sits in the Collins Brothers Towing of St. Cloud, West Metro Buick GMC, and Crow Wing Recycling. Sponsored 1 junior. He'll go to the win in heat number 3. 4th and final heat race of the night in the Midwest. Modifieds is